Ray Rice wants chance at final chapter in and beyond NFL. New Rochelle, NY. A framed Baltimore Ravens jersey bearing his name hangs on one wall, and a banner celebrating the 2003 state championship team he led hangs on another. In between, Ray Rice stares intently at a laptop inside the football coach's office at New Rochelle High School, his speech accelerating as the video rolls. "You can go back on this play. This is my favorite," Rice says, leaning forward in his chair as he watches another highlight from the Ravens' Super Bowl title run in 2012. "I'm in the backfield in the shotgun. We call this ~H post. Me one-on-one versus your linebacker. Pick your poison. I'm free releasing. They're in a man concept. So once I know he's got me man-to-man, I win." Crossed his face. Touchdown. This is as close as Rice has gotten to an NFL field since the other video emerged, the one showing the three-time Pro Bowl running back knocking out his then-fiancée copyrightee in a casino elevator nearly 2.5 years ago, triggering his release by the Ravens and an indefinite ban from the NFL. The ban was vacated on appeal in November 2014. Rice, 29, has apologized repeatedly. He has undergone counseling. He has traveled to schools and Ravens headquarters to tell his story. He's here 2 or 3 times a week, augmenting his training with jovial workouts alongside football players at his alma mater, many of whom he knows by name. This week, Rice told USA Today Sports that he gets to play. He'd donate his entire salary in 2016 to organizations with programs focusing on education and prevention of domestic violence and supporting survivors and their families. His motivation is to end his career the right way for his kids and believers, and to try to help others. NFL training camps opened next week, though, and Rice isn't just unsigned. He's not getting a look. And while he continues to welcome all criticism for his actions on February 15, 2014, "I'll take it and I know I can't turn it for good," he says Rice will stand up for the person he has become and the player he believes he still can be, despite the 2-season layoff following a downturn often cited as the football reason. He's unemployed. A permanent indent at the top of Rice's left quadriceps is evidence of what he says was the primary reason he averaged a career-low 3.1 yards on 214 carries in 2013, a grade 3 muscle tear. Now healthy, Rice says his mind is clear and his body more explosive than ever if only someone would give him a chance to show it. Put it like this: "I don't know when the years of ranking where I was a top 15 NFL player, but you don't fall off that fast," Rice says. "If I'm that bad, bring me in for a tryout. That's the way to go about it. Bring me in for a tryout and then let the rest of the chips fall where they belong, because we know the simple fact that I can't get a tryout, it's a different deal." The long way Rice understands he put himself in this spot, so he's careful not to say he deserves a second chance. But he's acutely aware the other central figures in the furor over the league's handling of family violence issues: Adrian Peterson, Greg Hardy, Ray McDonald and other troubled NFL players have gotten theirs, with mixed results. Teams regularly bring in free agents for tryouts, though when it's a veteran, that's usually an indication they're considering signing the player. Rice hasn't even made it that far. He drew some interest last year, most notable from the Cleveland Browns, but nothing materialized. And the longer any player is out of the NFL, the harder it becomes to get back in. Most of the NFL executives, coaches and scouts who spoke with USA Today Sports recently about Rice, all on condition of anonymity for competitive reasons, said it's not surprising he hasn't even had a tryout, mostly because of the power of the video. Fear of blowback from the media, fans and sponsors remains, buoyed by second chances gone sideways, e.g. Hardy and McDonald. Teams criticized for previous decisions won't touch him. Rice's age, the fungibility of the running back position, and, yes, his 2013 game tape all don't help either. However, one executive predicted if one team works out Rice, many more may follow. The first team would likely face the most scrutiny, and it may be less than everyone thinks, given the time elapsed and Rice's efforts since his release. Ray has taken a number of positive steps, including meeting with domestic violence organizations and seeking ongoing and continuous counsel for he and his family. Anna Isaacson, the NFL's Vice President of Social Responsibility, said in a statement. He has demonstrated the desire over the last 2 years to share how his choices have impacted him so that others, particularly youth, may learn from it. When Rice visits college football teams, he tells his life story, including the lack of communication and failure to deal with issues leading up to an incident that, for many, put a face to domestic violence. The black and white elevator video: "I don't think any of us will get that out of our head. And he's paying the price for that," said Western Michigan University coach P.J. Fleck, who was among the first to invite Rice to speak. "But while he's paying the price, we can use him to educate our players so we can be very preventative with our kids. It's a message Rice and those helping him through this process believe he can spread more effectively if his story has a better ending for him and the NFL. I'm not telling you we're the experts," Rice says, "but I know if you put me in the locker room, not only can we help out a team, we can for sure save a community." Working his way back, laptop is showing 2013 tape now. It's Rice's first touch in Week 4 against the Buffalo Bills, a couple weeks after he was injured the 5-yard run on the type of stretch zone play that has filled his highlight reel. Rice has a path to the sideline. Instead, he crumbles. "You watched me in 2012. You watched it," Rice says, voice rising. "Even with me straying off my track a little bit and doing what I do, I like to peak, I get back to health and I'm screaming down the sideline. That might be a 60-yard play. Right there, I should be on the fullback's hip, taking up the corner, and I'm there. I have no juice. Right here, my leg, look, I die." Jason Clement, who works with Rice 4 days a week at Blue Streak Sports Training in Stamford, said Rice remained very right leg dominant. Then they began working together in March 2015. According to Clement, Rice has lost about 10 pounds, now around 207 pounds, on his thick, 5'8" frame, cut his 10-yard dash to 1:47 seconds and increased his vertical to 39 inches, which has him dunking again in pickup basketball games. On the field at New Rochelle High, where Rice's Ravens jersey was removed from the gymnasium amid the furor in 2014, but his high school jersey still hangs, along with photos in the hallways. He is part teammate and part coach. He does every drill and challenges the kids to keep up. None more than his pet project, 6'3", 300-pound Ced Rice Palant, whom Rice believes can play college football. Coach Louis D'Arienzo says Rice quietly met bi-weekly with a group of at-risk students at the school last spring. Between workouts Wednesday, Rice drove to the Bronx to speak at a summer program. A bad situation occurred, but Ray Rice has done everything you possibly are supposed to do when you make a mistake, D'Arienzo said. In my heart, I hope he gets another chance. In a broader scope of life, Rice admits, maybe I have mine now. He and his wife, Jana E. Rice, married soon after his indictment. He was allowed to enter a pretrial diversion program that resulted in the dismissal of an assault charge against him. They have a 4-year-old daughter, Raven, and Jana E., who was not available to be interviewed for this story, is due with a second child in September. Rice made $25 million in the first 2 years of his last contract, which afforded him financial security. But it's obvious what's missing as Rice breaks down one of his defining plays, leaping out of the backfield on 4th and 29, down 3 in the fourth quarter, and juking half the San Diego Chargers defense for a 30-yard gain. With each passing day, the chances rise he'll never get to prove that player still exists, to create a new final image. And ultimately, that's on him. If there was one guy that took the situation and did it the right way and never laid it to rest and continued to work, then here I am, Rice said. I'm not saying there's a magical answer to that. I'm not looking to be applauded for it. I'm just looking to finish a story. Follow Tom Pelissero on Twitter at TomPelissero.